So you're thinking about flipping houses and one guy wants to charge 25% tax on it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so there is an assembly member, Chris Ward, he's down in San Diego. He wants to impose a 25% tax on primarily investors who buy a home and hold on to it for less than 3 years. It's called the California Housing Speculation Act, also known as Assembly Bill 1771. Now, there's two sides to this. One side is you have these institutional investors who are buying up these, homes, primarily like done homes, and holding on to them for less than 3 years, riding out the appreciation train, and then selling it. The concern there is that you have the average home buyer, right? The families, whatever, that could have bought these homes and would have been able to build their own personal wealth, but they can't compete against the cash buyers. That's a whole nother conversation. Really, let's talk about the flippers, right? The investors who are looking to buy, flip, and sell within 90 days, 180 days. This bill doesn't really make a lot of sense for those particular people. Here's why. Right off the bat, two things can happen. First and foremost, it's all a numbers game. So if I'm a flipper and I know I'm going to get taxed, I now have to factor that into my cost. So where does this number have to come from? Well, it has to come from the buy side when I initially buy the property. So if I was originally going to offer $500,000 for a home, now I might have to offer, I don't know, it depends on the property, but let's say 475, 450, 400, right? Depending. So now I have to offer less on that home. That's less transfer tax. That means the seller of that home, which could have been inheritance, could have been that person's retirement, that seller's retirement. Now they all lost money, and all the parties involved where their pay was directly tied to the purchase price, escrow, title, realtors, they all made less money, therefore less taxes, right? So they made up the taxes in this 25%, but lost it in income tax and transfer tax on the initial purchase. See how that doesn't make sense? So that's issue number one. Issue number two, and really the bigger concern, is what I talked about in previous videos, such as why are we only building in the luxury market? Because the cost of plumbing is the same whether you build in Pacoima or you build in Westwood. The same applies here. So if you're a flipper, you're better off to maximize your dollar to go build in a higher price neighborhood. That's going to leave these other lower income neighborhoods dilapidated, where there really isn't a buyer for these fixer homes, right? There are homes with major termite damage, dry rot, homes falling apart, where the average buyer doesn't want to buy these homes. There is an actual need for flippers. There's actual need for these investors to come in and revitalize these communities. And instead, these politicians are coming in and saying, well, let's hit them where it hurts, which is their pocketbook. So again, there are two sides to it because really there are two different angles. They could have, and I haven't read the whole bill, which if someone would love to comment below and talk more about the bill, I'd love to hear about it, love to read about it, please do so. And also, while I might as well at it, don't forget to smash the follow or like, depending, subscribe, wherever you're watching this. But yeah, so depending, they could have split this into two. So they could have said, hey, look, if you're looking into the actual flipping game, where you're looking to buy it and sell within, let's call it less than a year, then you are exempt from this tax because, yeah, your intention is to revitalize the home, revitalize the community. If your intention was to sell it after so many years, that could be a different case. The only difference there might be if you're developing a home. So you bought a home as a teardown, that could take years to build. So again, it gets really complicated, and there'd be a lot of nuances. So love to get your thoughts, comment below. It'll be interesting to see if this even gets passed, but you know it, if it gets passed, I'll talk about it. You guys have a great rest of your week.